Hello, my friends. Hello. You know what I have here? I have some coffee. Lord, is it delicious. With coffee mate creamer, as kind of seen here. We rotate it around. I'm trying to see with my glasses. I'm not trying to product place. Or am I? I got to go to the store, so I'm very happy because I was really having dry mouth that wouldn't go away. And it was bad. Like you could tell when I was made the last video, my mouth was so dry that when I was talking, I was hearing it make weird sounds. But I wanted to say, because I don't think there's a lot of right brain people. There's not. There's a lot less. And I was telling my roommate, I'm like, I'm right brained. All y'all other motherfuckers are left brained. You know it because
I got to break in and say this though. This is the point. This is the reason for the point that I have to make. Although I talk shit about some of the people around me, like specifically, it may sound like I'm talking shit about my roommate. He's really a good dude. I can trust him. There's not very few people I can trust with him. Trust, and I can trust him. And the fact that it actually allows me to stay where I live and have this issue with my brother. I'm not able, my brother my real brother, my half brother in Houston, sort of pulled a fucked up maneuver on me, and I wasn't really sure how to handle it. But I'm going to be able to, because of what I'm doing here, I'm going to send him the message that I need to, because he doesn't understand and doesn't care if I'm going through shit, and he's already like living in this house that we have. And I'm going to try to help him pay the taxes, but he has to pay them this year. He's living in there, and I've had a hell of a year. Then I just have to be honest and tell him. Because although he's known and I've communicated with him, he waited till up until the point and just tried to slap the bill on me. Because he's emotionally distant. He is. And he's fucked up, and he doesn't want to see that it's difficult for me. And he actually did say that because I'd made all the money before and I just had all this good job better than him. He's never had a good job. He has had it rough with work, but he's been working at Home Depot or Lowe's. I can't remember which one. That's part of one of my problems is I can't distinguish between the two. I know the one's orange and the other one's not. Lowe's isn't orange. But I have no idea which one he works at, and I'm sure they've told me 1,000 times. I can't remember it. I can't remember it. My brain doesn't differentiate. I can't play cards either. My brain cannot differentiate between the cards in the same way that the players play, and I would always lose. Except playing blackjack, in which case I may always win. I don't know why. I have no idea why. No, I do not want to play blackjack. I'm not interested in that. So, you tell me. But to make this video, it is requiring me some humble myself, but I do want to collapse this waveform that makes this two guys. And I want to collapse the other ones too. And I think it is possible when you open your mind to things like this. And that's not easy for the left brain person to do. But goddamn it, I'm telling you, it's a fucking miracle when you do it. It's a fucking miracle. Because everything we're experiencing in the outer world is a projection of something embodied. And I know, in a way, like how you're not crossing over to nirvana, that part of my remaining here in this hell world that I'll go through, I'm going through out of love. And some of the things I don't accept them until I can collapse that waveform. Because I still have some sort of mission to do, and I understand that. I understand that. And that's all I want to say. I'm going to resume back to the
left brain and right brain people communicate or not. Left brain people communicate linearly. I'm a non-linear thinker. This is what they told me when I took the test. You have a nonlinear thinking brain, which is right brain, which is why I'm left-handed. Although there's some twist in that, though. Here's the twist. When I was learning to write at 5, I broke my right arm, and I wrote with this. I wrote with this the right way. Then I had to start writing with my left hand, which I already wrote with, but I had to reverse the writing to learn how to write like this, because I don't write with my right. I can't write with my right hand. I write left-handed. But there's something going on with that, because I could write with my right hand, but at the time I was learning to write. So I don't remember having a cast. I don't remember having anything. I don't remember anything about it. I can't believe I broke my whole arm. That just seems... Now that I say it, and I know it happened, but I don't have any memory of it at all. What in the actual fuck? Do you think it has to do with having to tell the story so many times about it, and it being so much about the story and what I'm explaining at the time about being left-handed or right-brained? If you're left-handed, you're also right-brained. Only 27% of the people in the world are right-brained. And we don't think like y'all motherfuckers think. It's true. It is true. And they've made it this way because it would be 50-50 if they hadn't pushed everyone to be right-handed and thus left-brained. There's a lot going on with your thinking, your ideation, how you visualize, what part of the brain is being lit up when you're writing. The English letters, the way they go, Sanskrit, the way they go, when you scan the pages to read, you're able to identify certain parts of different alphabets in a different way that programs your brain along these neural pathways somewhere. And that's not a coincidence either. All of the languages on the planet where you have the Greenwich, the 0 line on the globe, where you're turning it around, I think it's the latitude lines, the lines that are the latitude. I don't know if it's the latitude or the longitude, but it's the one that goes east to west. So the 0 one on the arc side, the west, on the west side, all the language are written from right to left. Am I saying it right? Left to right. On the other side of that line, all the languages are wrote right to left. Like Hebrew. Hebrew's wrote right to left. So that's programming a different part of your brain. If somebody knew this, it wouldn't be that way. Okay? It wouldn't be that way. There's nothing more programming than your fucking language system, your alphabet, the way people talk. Why do you think those Egyptians have those hieroglyphics? They have they're still connected into some badass imagery and shit inside of their soul. And people forget how far away we've gotten from that. And we've had more badass shit, better civilizations in the times gone by than we have right now. You might say, Why do you think that? Everything's great. Everything's great. How come in a technical how come in a society as advanced as ours, and this happens too, because when the advancing society advances so much that they stop having babies, you've got to have two babies come out of every single woman to replenish your population. And if you don't do that, China's fucked up. They had that one child policy, and it made their society lopsided. They sterilized people. They did the same thing in India, sterilizing people. It was some badass shit. And now they're fucked. We don't have the sperm count to even... We're about to go fucking extinct. Bala. For real. So what's so great about that? That's not great. That's basically, we've got to this place to end ourselves. If we haven't ended ourselves, the human that we are, that is still biological human, not modified, you can bet your ass we're done for as soon as any AI shit goes inside of you. That's a wrap. You're a cyborg. You're a post-human then. The wind agrees. So, this is a real serious fucking time for the earth. For the earth man. For the people. And we really do need to pay a lot more attention. Although it may be hard for me to communicate, I had to tell this though to my roommate. I was like, he's like, you've always been, he was trying to say something about me communicating. Let me tell you what happened. We both were late on our rent. We didn't communicate well because I didn't just outright directly ask him, and he said it in such a way as to be overheard that he didn't have no money. He never told me. I did overhear him say that. I did. But he was talking on the phone to somebody else. He didn't tell me. And I never told him that. What's the point in that? Why do that? But I remember, and people do this to me a lot because I'm right-brained. And I don't communicate the same way as they do. But I did let him know that I paid the lady, and I contacted her, and he knew himself on the 3rd and didn't say a fucking nothing. And then when I asked him about it after that, he kind of got shitty and said, well, I already told you, man. I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't tell me nothing. And he didn't. And he lied about it. He tried to tell me that, but I don't think he lied. Per se, he goes through shit, and we all go through shit. I wanted to see how he would communicate that, because he didn't tell me direct. He didn't say a motherfucking nothing. Oh, me over here, and it's not saying anything. And I don't want to be a problem for someone else, or a dick, or something like that. That's why I vent on my channel when I talk my stories and let things out. Because like I said, I'm right brain. I have a different way to process things and things about stuff like that. But that actually helped me be able not to have to call somebody out on their shit and have that experience to learn. I've known this guy for a long time. What I find is so odd about now, and this could be partially my problem too, because I make my own videos, and I like to do it right here. So you hear me talking, but I have a problem with having to overhear the conversation with the lady. That because I when she would come around, I would go away. She would come see my dad, It's my roommate's girlfriend, and I mean, I wouldn't like totally avoid her, but there's something about her that is I don't like it. It rubs me wrong in my energy field, and I found out what it was. I found out the other day what it was because she's born on May 12th. That's when my ex-wife's birthday is. And as I'm collapsing together these people in or uh like you have people that are born on the same birthday, I figure them one thing. I believe, and I honestly kind of do believe that there is a spirit for all those people that were born on that day that connected. So my brother and this guy, same guy. In a way, they're in the same thing. I partially feel responsible for things other Kellys do and things that people born on September the 4th do. But I share my victory the same. I do. And it's an internal world thing more than it's an external world thing. So that's really the reason why. Or that might be the simple difference to let somebody know. Because that can't be the case for everyone else. You know? I can say that, and I mean it with love, because it's an act of love to try to do that. Because that's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do. But it lets you see a glimmer of unity that everyone's talking about. We're all one and all that shit. You know, yeah. But that's the egos. We all have the ego. And the ego doesn't want to identify like that. It doesn't want to do that. And that is our fucking search engine for our whole mind, is that ego and those thoughts that run. Because it's like they say, the Swedenborg guide said that we had two guiding angels, and our mind just focuses on what it looks at, and it's like film is running through, and they'll insert. Now, the angels don't do it with language. They don't. They do it in the right brain way, because they give you the intuitive feelings that you feel like, oh, this doesn't feel good. They don't use language. There's two demons that do use the language, and language is a left brain thing. It is, because the right brain is like shapes, colors, sounds, and the left brain's math and stuff like that. Real defined, concrete pieces, and the right brain is wholeness. Like your ego is formulated by your left brain. I am. And the right brain has a corresponding deification that has that unity. It's like I am. And it's the whole thing. Whereas this is the individual unit, one piece. So that's the different yin and yang that's going on with that. So I wanted to have this master class on that shit and set some of that shit straight, because treat your right brain people wrong. They're going to be weird, a little bit artsy, and I know, because sometimes I can tell from having psychedelic experiences and just having enough psychonaut experiences that people like to throw shade on you for getting high, and they act like you're a weirdo because they don't understand you, and that it's because you're high. And having that had already happened to me my whole life before I ever got high, being younger and all, people would already tell me weird shit that they end up saying the same thing, because I have the same way of communicating, and it's a lot of times it jumps all over the place. but it doesn't think in the same time terms as normal people do. And if we're only 27, and I think that's a very generous uh, number, you know, because I think it's less. Only 10% are left-handed. So, you know, it has an amazing connection, you know, because there's so many left brain people and they want to push society to be like that because it's a conquering war tactic and technique, just like all the stuff, the rest of the crap they're doing. So it's important while we wage this war to actually balance that shit back out. So I need my left brain thinking homies to be there for me when I'm aloof or whatever, because I'm there for you. Have a nice day.